Little pencil tricks to distract me.
Oh, I almost caught you.
These are 10 of the funniest interviews ever to air on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. From his desk at NBC Studios in Burbank, California, Carson welcomed comedians, movie legends, and late-night heirs, all of whom turned his show into the place America went to laugh before bed. Now let's get right into it. Number 1. Don Rickles' May 6, 1983 interview.
19 years, John.
That's right.
Don't milk it anymore. Walk away.
By 1983, Don Rickles had logged so many trips to Carson's couch that the appearances were basically a second career, and by his own estimate, he showed up more than 100 times across the years.
I try to do one show for a long time rather than 6 or 7 like you for a month or two, and then...
What the hell is this, a witch hunt?
Carson handed him the nickname Mr. Warmth, while Dean Martin called him the Merchant of Venom, and both labels stuck for the rest of his life.
You're gonna flunk a driving test. You keep doing that.
I did.
You already flunked.
Yeah,
I forgot that. Okay, pull over,
Sit down. Sit down, don't you?
May 6th, 1983, stands as one of Carson Tonight Show's funniest interviews, and the reason becomes clear within the first minute.
You were sitting in the car going, was I driving too fast? Just pull over, Carson. I watch late night news. Now, you don't have to laugh, Ed. You got the job. It's okay.
For nearly 14 straight minutes, Rickles tore through the room in full insult mode.
The last time I saw you was at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and you said to me, come on up to the room. I want to show you something. And we were up in the room, and there were 5 little girls on a swing. You went, go on a swing. You were single then. Single, in case there's anybody listening. Single.
Okay, I like children. Big deal.
Going after Carson, after Ed McMahon, after the band, after anyone unlucky enough to make eye contact.
How you doing, Snooky? I spoke to the people in Watts. You're the man with the...
The fun was never any single line, but rather the way the most powerful man in late night leaned back in that desk chair and surrendered to laughter, while the shorter man next to him hijacked the entire show.
Are you a good sailor? Are you good on water?
Well, I was in the Navy for 3 years as you were. You were an ensign.
That's right.
I can't believe that. I just can't picture you on the bridge going, battle stations.
It was a little...
See, Jewish guys don't do that. We go, let's hide. Anyway, and the Italian guy goes, here's your battle stations. Battle station this.
That formula plays cleaner here than almost anywhere else on tape, which is why Carson Entertainment Group eventually chose Rickles for the very first volume of its featured guests DVD series.
Little pencil tricks to distract me.
Oh, I almost caught you.
Hey, give me a break. I'm struggling. Look at, see, that shows
no,
love.
it's
No,
all
that
right.
shows love.
It'll be all right.
God forbid. No, that shows love that these people still love you in spite of what I'm saying to you.
Number 2. George Burns' January 10th, 1989 interview.
I smoke between 15 and 20 cigars a day.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting.
Yeah.
At 93, if I can get it into a holder.
Well, it's the little things in life, not yours.
92 years old on the night of January 10th, 1989, George Burns walked onto that stage just 10 days short of his 93rd birthday.
Hasn't your doctor said to you, now, George, you got
My doctor is...
The Carson YouTube headline still labels him 94, but the math says 92. Walking out to the desk, he had recently received the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
When I got a cold, I don't drink. I don't smoke. I do the other thing.
Oh, you don't. So you're looking forward to your next cold soon, huh?
Okay.
And his new book, All My Best Friends, co-authored with David Fisher, was set for release later that year through G.P. Putnam's Sons.
He says, Norma Talmadge left me. I said, but Norma Talmadge left you 35 years ago. He says, I still miss her.
Let's talk about that.
Carson protected the old-school Hollywood legends so fiercely that David Letterman was reportedly not even allowed to book Burns on late night.
So I came to the table, and there was sea bass. Well, I love sea bass, but I didn't want to hear that lousy joke. So I whispered to the waiter, I says, I'll have sea bass. And the waiter whispered back, if you can't see bass.
You can't see back at all.
Settling into his suit with his signature prop in hand, Burns delivered punchlines about aging, women, and longevity with the slow timing of a man who had been on stage since vaudeville.
We were sitting at the Brown Derby, and the waiter came over. I said, I'll have bacon and eggs for lunch. He said, I'll have cream of wheat. He says, and I hate cream of wheat. I said, then why do you order cream of wheat? He says, Mary says it's good for me. I said, tell Mary to eat cream of wheat.
Carson took up his favorite role, the straight man, leaving big patches of silence and watching the master work.
I said, I'm going to have bacon and eggs. He said, I love bacon and eggs. Why don't you have bacon and eggs? He said, Mary says it's bad for me. I said, tell Mary not to eat bacon and eggs.
Burns lived to 100 years old, passing in March of 1996.
And the waiter came over. He said, oh, I bacon and eggs. And Jack says, I'll have bacon and eggs. I said, when the check comes, give it to Jack Benny. I said, why? He said, why should I pay for the check? I says, if you don't pay for the check, I'll tell Mary you had bacon and eggs.
Number 3. Walter Matthau's March 23, 1978 interview.
Men should have a certain amount of tenderness, right?
Sure.
A little kiss on the cheek can't hurt.
Walter Matthau dropped by the show on March 23, 1978, just over a week after the release of his comedy House Calls with Glenda Jackson, one of 2 major releases for him that year, alongside California Suite at Christmas.
I was once in a play, and I hadn't worked in about 2.5 years. And my opening line, think I hear the cannons roar. I got on the train from Philadelphia, and I practiced this line all the way to, hark, I think I hear the cannons roar. Hark, I think I hear the cannons roar.
Commercially, he sat at his absolute peak. A decade earlier, he had won the Oscar for the fortune cookie.
Hark, I hear the cannon. Hark, I hear. Hark. I got out there and I was nervous, and the curtain went up, and suddenly the sound effects, there was an enormous cannons roar. And I said, what the hell was that?
The Sunshine Boys and the Bad News Bears were freshly in the rear view, and audiences trusted his face on a poster the way they trusted Carson's voice at 11:30 at night.
Now, I'll tell you why I dropped my pants off camera when I was playing a scene with George Burns. Burns hadn't done a movie in 30 years or thereabouts, and he was very, understandably so, apprehensive. And the first thing he did was he blew a line. The next thing I did was drop my pants and bend over.
That episode is built around a long, shaggy dog story Matthau spun about being caught off camera with his pants down.
I mooned, and Burns took a look at me and went absolutely into a fit of marvelous, restrained laughter. It relaxed him terrifically, and he was able to go from there.
Setup punchline delivery was never his style. Meandering and deadpan, he watched Carson decide whether to believe him, and by the time the story wound to its finish, the audience was howling and Carson was wiping his eyes.
I mean, the sight of my behind made him realize that practically nothing was worth getting uptight about.
Throughout the 70s and 80s, he remained a regular on the show, often paired with Jack Lemmon.
Let me hear your race-calling voice.
What I do is I do an imitation of Clem McCarthy because I always loved.
Well, that's way down here, isn't it?
Native lands are on the outside, horsemen are on the rail, coming around the bend, and now they're neck and neck and head, and the crowd is out.
Number 4. Rodney Dangerfield's February 18, 1982 interview.
Girls I get aren't worth getting anyway. You kidding? I get fat girl. Girl last week, a fat girl. Very fat girl last week. You kidding? How fat? She went swimming. She left the ring around the lake, okay? She's fat.
February of 1982 found Rodney Dangerfield in a very different place than where Carson had first put him on the air at age 47.
I mean, this girl was fat and ugly. Ooh, was she ugly?
Ugly, huh?
How ugly? Well, Christmas, they hang her and kiss the mistletoe, okay? She's ugly, I'm telling you.
The Grammy for Best Comedy Recording for his album No Respect sat on his shelf. Caddyshack had pushed him into movie stardom back in 1980, and his ABC variety special, The Rodney Dangerfield Show, It's Not Easy Being Me, featuring Bill Murray, Aretha Franklin, and Valerie Perrine, was about to air.
Not easy.
I got no energy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I get tired just holding up the magazine.
That special was referenced during this Tonight Show appearance. His Carson visits always followed the same template.
I mean, Johnny, I got no life. I got a waterbed. My wife calls it the Dead Sea.
And February 18th, 1982 lays it out as cleanly as any. Emerging from behind the curtain, he ran through a tight stand-up set in front of the band riser.
I mean, the other night I told her, I said, don't laugh behind my back. She said, I won't. The funny stuff's on the other side.
Then walked over to the couch and somehow delivered even more one-liners while sitting down. Some counts put him at 35 total Carson appearances, and that whole framework about getting no respect from his wife, his doctor, and the rest of the world was something Carson never tired of setting up.
And my doctor, he don't help either, you know, Dr. Vinny Boombachi.
How is it? How's he doing?
I called up last week. I told him I had diarrhea. He put me on hold.
Dangerfield passed in October of 2004, yet his Carson clips remain some of the most watched comedy moments.
Oh, I'm talking too much. Got a lovely young lady back there wants to come out. Hear what she has to say.
This is about it,
huh?
Number 5. Harvey Korman's November 9th, 1978 interview.
Do you have any brothers or sisters at home? Playmates?
No. I have a sister.
Uh-huh.
No, no.
Really?
Yes, no, no. Yes, no, yes, no.
After 10 years as the lanky foil to Tim Conway and Carol Burnett on The Carol Burnett Show, Harvey Korman turned up on Carson's couch on November 9th, 1978.
The money and the success does not make you
No,
particularly
you'll
happy.
find out someday, Ed.
He said, doing one of his little cruelties that he has been known for among his own friends.
He had left that CBS series the year before, was now starring in Mel Brooks's High Anxiety, and his short-lived ABC vehicle, The Harvey Korman Show, was on the air.
When you're out on the road and you're in a motel, you know, and you're lonely, you don't know anybody, the television set becomes very important. I'm not kidding you. And it's important to connect with somebody that you know or somebody that you enjoy or like. I cannot tell you how terrible it is to tune into the Tonight Show and you ain't there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sharing the panel that night were Gary Coleman, Lily Palmer, and Larry Gatlin, and the show opened with a Karnak the Magnificent segment.
Could you come back on the old schedule? For us, you can't just think of yourself.
You want me to go back 5 nights a week just because you can't get abroad in a motel room? Is this what you're saying?
That's the truth.
The Paley Center's notes preserve the structure of Korman's portion in fine detail. He joked about why he wanted Johnny to work more, transitioned through more of such funny bits, making the overall interview very, very funny.
It gets a little bad at meal times and cocktail hour and bedtime.
When you want food.
Yeah, food and bedtime is particularly.
Bedtime.
But I call it McLean, and we discuss our careers. And we cry ourselves.
Harvey Korman visibly cracked Johnny up and left the audience in stitches. He passed in May of 2008.
Why don't you ever call me? We can hang out, you know?
Why you're such a big star and all?
Oh, now, come on now. You know I'm always there. Call and we can play a little tennis.
Okay.
Number 6. Mildred Holt's August 26, 1987 interview.
We read about my first guest tonight in a local Kansas newspaper, and she sounded like a more than remarkable woman. She's 105 years old. We thought you might like to meet her. Would you welcome, please, Mildred Holt.
Many older viewers remember this one more clearly than any other on the list. On August 26, 1987, Carson welcomed 105-year-old Mildred Sage Long Holt from Ellsworth, Kansas.
We're talking with, may I call you Mildred?
Yeah.
Mildred
sure,
Holt from
I like that.
Ellsworth, Kansas, 105 years old. And we asked Mildred if she would like a little drink or a little water or something, and you said you'd like a highball. Now that's Midwestern expression, for sure.
And announced live on the air that she stood as the oldest guest ever to appear on The Tonight Show.
You're the oldest person I have ever met and ever had on this show.
That's the way it is at home. I'm always the oldest one they ever met.
Born in July of 1882, the youngest of 10 children, she was the daughter of a Civil War veteran, running a boarding house and tea room in her small Kansas town after her family lost much of its money in the Great Depression.
Somebody told me you wanted to ask me some questions. Is there...
Well, I hear you've had, what, 3, 4 wives.
Well,
That's great.
Really?
Good for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
She kept a diary her whole life, noting recipes, card games, and the names of every dinner guest, all under her personal motto, "I'll never eat a meal alone."
You don't drive a car, do you?
No, I had to quit 2 years ago, and that broke my...
Reportedly, a few days later, her name had been sent to the show by an Ellsworth reporter, and the booking call took 3 months to come. On the air, she was a force, offering her opinion on Carson's marital track record, deflecting his line about being the oldest guest he had ever booked, and refusing to be impressed by anything happening around her.
Well, what do you think about being movies? They have motion pictures
I don't
now.
like it.
You don't care for it?
No.
Yeah. You wouldn't go to see a picture of her?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well...
What's...
June of 1991 brought her passing at the age of 108, yet that 8-minute interview now ranks among the most resurfaced clips Carson ever taped.
They say a certain amount is good.
Gives you a little pep.
You betcha.
Number 7. David Letterman's November 29th, 1985 interview.
But I don't want to talk about the book. I came out here 2 nights ago through the aviation miracle of the Airbus. That's right, the Airbus. Now, this is a delightful airplane. It was designed and built by the French and the Germans.
Yes.
And I think we all know what a loving, cooperative relationship those people have had.
By the time November 29th, 1985 rolled around, David Letterman had finished 4 years of hosting Late Night on NBC, the show that aired right after Carson at 12:30, and the show that Carson's own production company actually produced.
It's called the Airbus, 1, because it in fact looks like a bus.
Yes.
2, it for sure smells like a bus. Now, here's the difference. The Airbus is not quite as fast as a real bus.
The path to that chair ran directly through Carson's couch. After his short-lived morning show was canceled in 1980, NBC put Letterman on a holding deal reportedly worth $20,000 a week.
I looked around and my observation was they got a contract for transfer of prisoners. 1, that would do it. 2, the other group flying at people who can't afford trailways.
Right.
And 3 would be serious. Yeah. Now,
with the explicit job of guest hosting Carson, which he did 22 times in his first year alone and 51 times across his career.
Jet lag's not a problem if you don't get there. So,
this particular evening, he was promoting his book, Late Night with David Letterman, plus a primetime NBC special, David Letterman's Holiday Film Festival, set to air the very next night with shorts from Michael Keaton, Bette Midler, Catherine O'Hara, Andrea Martin, Harry Shearer, and twins slugger Harmon Killebrew.
So now it's dinner time, and they bring around the Airbus snack, and it's sealed in a container like this. You pry it open with a fire axe, and inside, honest to God, they got like vanilla wafers and a container of hot mustard. Because after all, it is the holidays.
That's right.
The funniest moment comes when Letterman launches into a bit about his flight out on an Airbus and the engineering history behind it.
So in the middle of this is some sort of unidentifiable protein mass. Now, if this had been a fishing trip, you'd call the captain and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, somebody put the chum in here with my lunch," but...
Lesson trip.
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh, cool, I see. You want to give me a nod when you are, so
okay, yeah.
I feel like George Burns here.
Carson sits there enjoying it the way you enjoy something a younger comic shows you, and the exchange remains one of the warmest snapshots of the mentor and heir relationship that would define Late Night for the next 30 years.
So they keep flashing this sign, lavatories occupied. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's their way of saying, all right, we know the food is darn near inedible, but see, apparently it can be digested. So you go into the lavatory, which, by the way, is sloped. The interior wall is sloped like the outside of the plane, so whatever you have to do in there is a hook shot.
Number 8. Joan Rivers, November 1st, 1979, interview.
There's certain things in this town, more than any other city in America. And it's hip. Suddenly, you have to do it if you want to be in. Perrier water. You know what I'm saying? I have a friend that's so stupid, she drinks Perrier and soda. I said, what kind of a drink is this?
The Rivers-Carson relationship is the most bittersweet on this list, and the November 1st, 1979 appearance lands before any of the trouble began.
Yes, I am in the process of suing Sinatra for support for the 5 years I would have lived with him if he had asked me. And it's getting ugly.
That's ugly.
Yeah, but it has to come out.
Rivers had first appeared on the show on February 17, 1965, when Carson, by her own account, leaned over and told her she was going to be a star.
I saw a picture of her in one of the magazines this month on the front page. And boy, she
Oh, the face, gorgeous.
And she had lost 35 pounds.
Well, it's like a drop in the Atlantic. I told her.
Nearly 100 Tonight Show appearances followed, along with 93 guest host stints, before she became Carson's permanent guest host from September of 1983 through 1986.
We went out last night, and I think she's learned her lesson, though, because we ended up at McDonald's, and we had, good spread, and coming out, she got stuck going through the arch, and it was, you don't know.
By the time of this 1979 booking, she had already established herself as a Vegas headliner and recently directed and co-written the feature Rabbit Test, starring Billy Crystal.
We had to grease her thighs.
To get her to work.
Edgar pushed, and I held a Twinkie in front.
If you say so. I mean, would this woman lie? Would this woman make that up, folks?
In this particular interview, she describes her ideal man, a long monologue she delivered seated at the desk, and which Carson visibly enjoyed.
Yeah, if you could have been somebody else, the most glamorous woman in the world, what would your ideal man?
My ideal man? Besides Edgar and you two guys.
Of course.
Yeah, anybody.
What makes it worth pulling up today is everything that came afterward. In 1986, Rivers accepted a competing late-night show on the new Fox network without telling Carson first. He hung up the phone on her and never spoke to her again. Number 9. Bob Newhart's December 3rd, 1974 interview.
I am not here to plug anything. I have nothing to plug. I saw the Basie Band last night, but that's not a plug because they're gone from there. So
well,
people even wanted to go see them, they couldn't see them.
You have no album out?
I have no album out. I'm doing Rickles special. I'm not plugging that because that's for him to plug.
That's right.
December 3rd, 1974 brought Bob Newhart to Carson's desk in the middle of Season 3 of The Bob Newhart Show on CBS.
I don't know whether we can really do an interview, you see, if you don't have something.
No, I just felt that you sometimes get the feeling maybe people are using you and just come out here to plug and they don't really care for you. I genuinely like you, John, and I'm just...
You just wanted to come?
Just here to tell you that.
Sharing the night were Phyllis Newman, Kenny Rankin, and Gore Vidal. At this point in his career, Newhart was the most prolific guest host Carson ever had outside of Joan Rivers, with 87 Tonight Show guest host appearances to his name, tied for the third most in the show's entire run.
I have an appearance at Harris Club in...
That's not a plug,
in February.
Really. That's not a plug.
Then no one's going to mark that down,
Well, that's quite a ways off anyway, so that cannot be considered a plug.
I just wanted you to know that I missed you. I've stopped by the house several times and was told you were out.
That's right.
Back in the summer of 1967, during a contract standoff between Carson and NBC, Newhart had even been briefly approached about taking over the show himself, and he turned the prospect down because he had no interest in working 5 nights a week.
How's everything?
I'm fine. How's everything with you?
Fine.
Good. Okay, who's next?
The trademark of a Newhart booking was that he never seemed to be promoting anything, and the December 3rd, 1974 interview leans directly into that. This interview was built around the running bit that Newhart did not need Johnny, that he was not there to plug anything, that he had no notes and no commercial interest.
Your show, and I've seen it, I see it quite often, is still in the top, 10 shows in the country, isn't it?
Fortunately, yes.
Well, that must make you very happy.
It makes me extremely happy. It's a wonder I do this show.
Yeah, usually when people have got a real hot show, you don't need this. You don't need this.
And I'm still here because I genuinely like you, John.
All delivered in the slow, dry stammer that made him a record-selling comic in the early 1960s. Newhart passed in July of 2024 at the age of 94.
Yeah. It's just a little off. I mean, to the untrained ear, you couldn't detect it. Doc, some of the guys, they would know it's probably not more than a millisecond off.
Number 10. Kevin Pollak's March 23, 1989 interview.
You did an impression of Peter Falk.
Well, let me just say something right now, if I can, please. I don't mean to bother you about this.
How do you...
Kevin Pollak's March 23, 1989 appearance is the late list curveball, because in 1989 his name had not yet broken through.
Oh, excuse me, yeah, if I can just say, Mr. Domingo, if I might add, the missus and me, we're very big fans, sir. We truly are. That song you sang... Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
At 31 years old, he had made his feature debut in $1 Million Mystery in 1987, a part in Ron Howard's Willow in 1988, and 15 episodes on a short-lived CBS sitcom called Coming of Age.
How do you do the eye thing?
Actually, he said that when I finally met him. He said, how do you do that with the eye? It's a trick I learned, and I wanted to actually teach you tonight if I could.
The Tonight Show booking on this night was actually his second visit. The bit that makes this interview funny is the one where Pollak does not simply do his Peter Falk impression, but instead tries to teach Carson, the host of the country's biggest talk show, how to do it himself.
So what you'll do is you'll cross your eyes,
Yes.
and then you look to the left, you cross your eyes. As you look to the left, the right eye is already looking to the left from the cross position. So it's cross the eyes, look to the left, cross the eyes, look to the left, all the while saying, pardon me, geez, I hate to bother you like this, all right?
Breaking down the eye, the voice, the rumpled posture, the cadence, he walks Carson through each piece. Carson gives it a shot, then misses the mark, and Pollak keeps coaching anyway.
Cross the eyes.
Cross the eyes.
Look to the left.
Look to the left.
Cross the eyes.
Cross the eyes.
Look to the
Look
left.
to the left. Oh, pardon me, I hate to bother you. That's it. Oh, pardon me.
See?
I got it.
The whole bit goes meta in the best late-night tradition, an impressionist drilling the king of late night through a character.
Jay calls me at home. He says, "Yeah, Kevin, Mr. Leno, listen, geez, I don't think the heat off this movie Willow's gonna get any hotter than this right now. You want to do the Tonight Show with me?"
That's right on.
Oh, you know, that's very good. Oh, yes, that's very good, very good. I'm working on the eye thing.
Pollak would go on to A Few Good Men, The Usual Suspects, and Grumpy Old Men, in which he played the son of Walter Matthau. That brings the list to a close. If you loved watching Johnny at 11:30 at night, you already know what made these moments work. Thanks for watching.